Water is an unstoppable force that we cannot fully control. A wall of water can wipe an entire city right off the map in just minutes. From a recent dam disaster in China to a double dam failure in the USA. Check out these craziest dam disasters that were caught on camera. Plus, make sure to stick around until the end for a bonus disaster that you'll have to see to believe. Three Gorges Dam Flood. China's massive Three Gorges Dam is said to be on the verge of collapse any day now because of flooding that began on July 19, 2020. Over 2.1 million cubic feet of water per second hit the dam's reservoir. The dam's operator said that the 1.4-mile-long, 606-foot-high structure had shifted, leaked, and has become deformed. That doesn't sound good, but they claim the dam was functioning well and is safe to use. Many provinces along the downstreams of the Yangtze River have seen large parts of land covered in floodwaters. There was a lot of speculation that the Three Gorges Dam, which is the world's largest hydroelectric plant, could completely collapse under the continued pressure from more flooding. An amateur CGI video by an unknown source shows the Three Gorges Dam collapsing, which many fear shows towns and cities in the lower reaches of the Yangtze River quickly becoming submerged underwater. It would be an incredibly catastrophic scenario if this happens. Just don't be surprised if you hear this dam breaking any day now as it continues to be hit by floodwaters. Brumadinho Dam. An incident with a very bad ending is that of the Brumadinho Dam in Brazil. On January 25, 2019, an iron ore mine tailings dam at the Córrego do Feijão collapsed, releasing 425 million cubic feet of toxic mud into the whole Brumadinho area. The destructive flow of debris flooded the mine's cafeteria and offices and nearby downstream communities. The incident resulted in the death of 270 people, most of whom were Vale employees. Further, 3 locomotives and 132 wagons were buried by the mud, and 2 sections of railway bridge were destroyed. To make matters worse, the environmental damage was incredibly bad, and it was estimated that the tailings polluted over 185 miles of river with toxic chemical elements. The company that owned the dam said that there was no evidence of a risk of collapse since the infrastructure's water pressure was monitored frequently and consistently. However, a string of media posts showed that the company was aware of several significant structural dam issues and classified the dam at Brumadinho as being 2 times more likely to fail than the maximum level of risk tolerated under internal guidelines. Until now, there was no investigation of the Brumadinho tailing dam disaster and why it failed. We wonder why, but some experts suggest that the water was gradually penetrating the tailings dam, causing saturation of the soil. Due to the chronic weakening of the soil, the dam collapsed and destroyed everything in its path. The penalties for the company owning Vale? The equivalent of $50 million in environmental fees, $3 billion of assets getting frozen from the authorities, and 16 individuals being charged as responsible. This is an example of what happens when danger signs are ignored by officials. Before we move forward, we have a quick favor to ask of you. Subscribe and turn on notifications and you'll never witness a dam break in your city. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. Subscribe today. Mariana Dam Disaster. Now moving on, we make our way to Brazil. A few years before the Brumadinho Dam incident, a dam owned by the company Samarco suffered a similar catastrophic failure. On November 5, 2015, the Fundão Tailings Dam at the Germano iron ore mine near Mariana, Minas Gerais, Brazil, collapsed, causing a flood that destroyed the downstream villages of Bento Rodrigues and Paracatu de Baixo. The incident killed 19 people, while more than 1,500 million cubic feet of mine tailings ended into the Doce River, polluting 445 miles of watercourses before ending in the Atlantic Ocean. Samarco received a fine of 20 billion Brazilian reais, or approximately $4.8 billion, not including compensation to people affected by the disaster and the cost of recovering the polluted area. Ituango Dam Failure. Another incident with a devastating ending is that of the Pescadero Ituango Dam. This facility is an under-construction 738-foot-tall embankment dam on the Cauca River near Ituango in Colombia which will have a reservoir capacity of 670 million cubic feet. When completed, the dam will be used for hydroelectric power generation with a capacity of 2,456 megawatts, making it the largest power station in Colombia. However, on April 28, 2018, when the dam was just only a few months away from its completion, 3 landslides blocked the only tunnel which was responsible for diverting the river's flow during the construction phase, leading the reservoir to fill. The 2 other diversion tunnels, which were used in the past for water flow diversion, were already blocked at this point since the project was very close to completion. The result? There was no outlet to divert the water flow, and the dam's water level started to rise dangerously. In their efforts to reduce it, the engineers of the project began releasing water through the unfinished powerhouse to prevent a breach of the dam. This move seemed to work and released enough pressure from the structure. However, 2 days later, on May 12, 2018, the water pressure unclogged one of the sealed tunnels, which increased the downstream flows by 3 times the average. Almost 25,000 people evacuated their homes because of the uncontrollable flash floods. The village of Puerto Valdivia, which was directly in the path of the flood, was heavily damaged, with 59 homes, a school, and a health center destroyed. This extreme situation was stabilized and temporary solutions were taken by the construction team to control the water flow. However, studies show that the Ituango Dam will most likely end up in a massive failure, inflicting severe ecological consequences to the whole ecosystem and jeopardize the safety of the communities living downstream from the half-constructed project. Oroville Dam Crisis. In February 2017, the Oroville Dam faced an unrestrained crisis which could have cost the lives of thousands of people. This water facility is an earthen embankment on the Feather River east of the city of Oroville in Northern California and is responsible for flood control, water storage, hydroelectric power generation, and water quality improvement. It stores the water of the man-made Lake Oroville and is capable of storing more than 1.1 trillion U.S. gallons. The heavy rainfall during the 2017 California floods created a very critical situation for the dam. The inflow of water in Lake Oroville rose from 30,000 cubic feet per second on February 6th to over 130,000 cubic feet per second on February 7th, to finally a peak of 190,435 cubic feet per second late on February 9th. The operators, trying to counteract the rising flow, increased the main spillway outflow but noticed an unusual flow pattern. They quickly stopped the water flow to examine the spillway, only to find out that a crater had formed right in the middle. In their attempt to control the rising inflow, the California Department of Water Resources decided to continue using the main spillway with a lower than normal flow, fully aware that this will further damage the main spillway. This wasn't enough, however, and on February 11, 2017, the Oroville Lake reached 901 feet above mean sea level, and the water started overflowing through the emergency spillway, which was used for the first time in history. Because of this uncontrollable outflow of water, the base of the dam started eroding at larger than expected levels, threatening to collapse the whole structure and flood the communities downstream. Fearing for the worst, about 23,000 National Guardsmen were ordered to help with the evacuation and relief efforts in case the dam spillway would fail. In record time, the 188,000 inhabitants of Oroville evacuated the area until the situation was taken under control. The authorities doubled the outflow through the damaged main spillway from 55,000 cubic feet per second to 100,000 cubic feet per second. Several hours later, the water level was successfully lowered and the overflowing stopped. The danger was finally averted and an enormous repair project was left in its place. Michigan dams collapse. The very recent collapse of 2 dams in central Michigan had a devastating effect on the lives of thousands of citizens. On the afternoon of May 19, 2020, heavy rainfall caused the Edenville Dam to collapse. Just hours after the Edenville Dam failure, the downstream Sanford Dam collapsed, which led to major flooding in the counties of Midland and Gladwin. The next morning, there were already several feet of water on the streets and the citizens were asked to seek shelter in higher ground. The downtown area of Midland went under 9 feet of water. Many buildings were ripped off their foundations and houses could be seen floating downstream. Bridges and roads were smashed, lampposts were toppled, and approximately 3,500 houses were damaged. The disaster caused at least $175 million in damage. Experts say that more incidents like that are quite likely to happen in the future, since the majority of dams in the U.S. are poorly maintained and are not built to withstand extreme weather conditions. Bonus topic: Kiev pipe explosion. Okay, so this one is not a dam failure, but it's pretty crazy nonetheless. On May 29, 2017, in Kiev, Ukraine, water company officials decided they will test some 37-year-old water pipes before using them to see if they will hold. The result was a water pipe bursting with an incredible display of power, ripping up the asphalt like paper, damaging nearby cars, and showering the area with muddy water and rocks in all directions. In the aftermath, there was a 65-square-foot hole in the ground. The dramatic pipe explosion was caught on nearby CCTV cameras. That's all we got for now, folks. Ever seen something crazy like this that we didn't mention? Let us know in the comments. And if we did a good job, give us a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and we'll let you know when we have a new video for you. Thanks for watching.